Hello, everyone. My name is Matilda, and I'm a Business Central consultant here at Fenwick. Today, we're going to explore Copilot in Business Central. This video will be an introduction into how AI-powered tools can support you and your business. It is also an opportunity to visit some of the highlights from the new Business Central 2025 Wave 1 update. To start us off, what is Copilot in Business Central? Copilot is Business Central's AI-powered assistant. It's also the industry's first AI assistant that's integrated across all lines of business. It contains intuitive tools that empower users by allowing time for what really matters in their role. It also has a constantly expanding set of capabilities, so we're really excited to see what comes next. Copilot delivers 3 key benefits to your business. These tools improve productivity by automating repetitive processes and streamlining tedious tasks in Business Central. Copilot also provides key insights, anticipating business challenges and empowering your decisions with AI-powered data analysis. And finally, elevating marketing by generating creative content ideas. To provide an overview of some of the features that we will be exploring today, we'll start off by creating sales orders through suggested lines and the sales order agent. Next, we'll explore managing finances, including predicting late payments and automating bank reconciliations. Then we'll dive into chat with Copilot to find support and quickly find information. And finally, we'll explore analysis and reporting using summary tools, Analyze Mode, and Power BI. So let's dive in. Let's get started with using Copilot for Business Central to improve efficiency when creating sales orders. Over in Business Central, let's create a new sales order. Now, in my case, I want this to be for the School of Fine Art. Now, typically when I'm creating a sales order for a customer, I would need to add all my lines individually. But now with this new Copilot Suggest Sales Line feature, this process is really efficient and can come just from native language. So let's give it a go. One of the things that I really like about Copilot in Business Central is it has this prompt guide. This can give you a bit of a starting point when you're not sure what you can use Copilot for and lead you in a bit of a direction until you're confident with using Copilot. In this case, let's start simple. I would like to add 2 Rome chairs and generate. And here we can see it's found the matching item for the Rome guest chair and a quantity of 2. Let's insert that line. Now let's say I don't want to do the thinking and we want to suggest the sales lines using the last invoice, since this customer is pretty regular and orders the same thing every time. So we can look at our prompt guides and use copy line items, and it can suggest the last posted invoice. So let's generate that. And we can see here the last posted sales invoice is this document here, and it contained 4 of our conference tables. Now I'm happy for that, so let's insert that as well. One of the other things that the suggest sales lines can be really useful for is copying information from emails into Business Central. For example, I received this email earlier today that someone would like to order some lamps and some Berlin chairs. Let's copy this text over to Business Central. And if we go back to our suggest sales lines and paste that text in, we can click generate. And here we can see that it's found those matching items of the lamp and also their quantity. So let's get those inserted as well. And now we're all finished with this order. So let's go our usual. As an alternative to using the Suggest Sales Line feature with Copilot, we can also use the new Sales Order Agent. Now, the Sales Order Agent helps Business Central users by automatically capturing incoming sales order details from their email inbox, which cuts out that middle process of having to copy it over yourself and manually figure out what's going on. So let's take a look. The Sales Order Agent can be found in this top right-hand corner here. Once we jump in, we can see that we've received 2 emails this morning from Alan Steiner. So let's see what he's asking for. Any emails received by the sales order agent will sit here pending until you've reviewed them. This makes sure that it won't be going wrong in the background without your input. So let's see if I'm happy for sales order agent to take a peek. So here we can see that Alan is in the process of purchasing new furniture for the office and they'd like to request a new sales quote. Now, I don't want to create this sales order myself, so let's see if sales order agent can do it for us. Let's confirm. And now we can see that the task is in process. So Copilot is reviewing that email and generating a response based on the item availability and item details that we have in Business Central. So now that I've come back, I can see that the sales order agent has reviewed the email, but it's found an issue with the item availability. So let's take a closer look so we can help out. When we go into review, it'll give us a breakdown of the item availability for each of the items that the customer has requested. So in this case, we can see the Antwerp conference table is available. However, our Berlin chair and our Rome chair aren't available. So I'm going to go away and make sure we've got those in stock, and I'll be right back. After checking our warehouse, I've checked that we've got the items in stock, so I'm okay that these are currently unavailable, and I'm going to confirm this order from Copilot. Now we can see that Copilot is thinking again now that it's reviewed the item availability. So we'll wait for that to complete and see what it comes back with. Okay, so we've received an update from the sales order agent that it's ready to create a sales quote. So let's review that quote and make sure that it's all correct. Beautiful. So we can see here it's created a new sales quote for customer Alan Steiner. You can see here our 3 items that Alan's requested. If I scroll across, all those correct quantities as well. Now if I have a scroll through, I'm happy with all of that. It's also pulled through his requested delivery date. And if I expand more as well, we can see it's also pulled through the external document number that Alan has requested. So let's confirm that. So the sales order agent can email that back to Alan. Now that the sales order agent has created that sales quote, it's got a new message outgoing to Alan to review. So if I open that one up, I can see it's got an email description ready to go with a summary of all the items as well as the total. If we expand out the attachments, we can also see that the sales quote document is attached for Alan's review. Now I'm happy with all of that, so let's confirm. And now Alan can finish off his sales quote for his furniture. Now, while that one's sending through, let's jump back and see what Alan's other request is. And let's open our review. And we can see that Alan is asking if we have the Berlin guest chair in stock, and if so, what's our unit price? This is a great example of how the sales order agent can help beyond just creating sales orders. It can really help in automating the process of those initial customer inquiries that might come in so that you can get some of those default details from Business Central out to the customer. So let's confirm that the sales order agent should review this email, and we'll wait to see while it reviews. Now that the sales order agent has finished processing that email, we can open up the review and we can see that yes, it's found the Berlin guest chair is available and has also provided the unit price for Alan. So I'm happy with all those details. Let's confirm those and send those off so that Alan is all informed on what he needs to purchase from us next time. One of the other AI-powered features that Copilot adds to Business Central is generating marketing text. This can be really useful for smaller businesses which may not have a dedicated marketing team, or for improving efficiency when you're setting up a new Shopify or e-commerce product setup. So let's take a look into that now. If I head to my items and jump into an existing item I have, like the Berlin guest chair, we can see down here on the right, we've got this new marketing text section. So let's go ahead and draft with Copilot. Now, in this case, Copilot is using the item attributes that I have set up against this item to generate a text. When I'm reading this though, it feels a little bit wordy to me. I'm expecting this to go on my website. So we have these great tools down the bottom to change the style and framing of our marketing text. So for example, I want this to be a bit more brief because it's going on my website. Let's regenerate. You can see here it's rewritten it based on the key points, so it's super easy for customers to understand. And finally, I think this one is a bit too inspiring, so I'm going to pull it back to formal because our office furniture brand is very formal and refined. So let's regenerate. Here we can see it's a bit more direct and has a bit more language in there. So we can see now that my Berlin chair is an exquisite chair which combines vintage charm with modern functionality. I'm happy with this one, so let's keep it. And now we can see it's come through to our item here, so we can use it on our new e-commerce site. Now let's take a look at managing finances with Copilot. Let's start with automatic bank reconciliations. If I jump in here, I can see I've got a ready bank reconciliation for January. Now, based on your eyes and my eyes, I can see here that I'd sort of expect these ones to line up, the funds for spring to line up, and this deposit here seems to balance out to these two ones here. We have this new feature in the top right called reconciliation. So let's see if Copilot can figure it out. Here we can see that one of the four bank statement lines was automatically matched using our matching rules. However, an additional 2 lines was matched using Copilot. So that saved us a bit of time there with automatic matching. Below here in the match proposals, we can see that they want to transfer the funds for spring 2025. And it's also found that there's multiple entries. So it's going to combine them together for that reconciliation. I decided I'm happy with those details, so let's say keep it. And we can see here that most of our lines are all applied, which is great. We do have this one bank fee line left. Now, normally we transfer this to a general journal ourselves, but with Copilot, we do have the post difference to GL account feature. So if I select my bank fee here and go to post difference to GL account, we can see that Copilot has automatically found a matching banking fees GL account, and it's got all the details ready to go. So I'm happy with those changes. Let's say keep it. And Copilot will automatically post that, so we have it as a bank account ledger entry. And now my bank account reconciliation has been completed. Now let's take a look into the new late payment prediction features. For business managers, this adds a new queue to the role center with sales invoices predicted overdue. Now, lucky for me, I don't have any overdue invoices at the moment, but it does add a ton of new features that are really useful for managing payments from customers. So we can see here it adds a new field called payment prediction. If I clear this filter, we can see a list of my invoices that are still due. Now, let's have a look at this latest one from a datum. On the right here, we can see late payment prediction. So, for example, Copilot is predicting that this will be on time with a high confidence of 93%. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to receive this payment. Now, for managing these late payments yourself, there's this new feature called Update Payment Predictions. So if you want to see up-to-date information on the latest payments and when they're predicted to be received, we can push this button and the AI-powered tool will go through, review all the outstanding invoices, and regenerate these payment suggestions. All of these features here can also be configured in the late payment prediction setup. Now let's take a look at Chat with Copilot. In Business Central, we can find Chat with Copilot in the top right through the Copilot icon. In here, Chat with Copilot can be used to answer common questions and provide an understanding in how Business Central processes work. One of the things that I find really useful about Chat with Copilot is the suggested prompts. For example, we can use Chat with Copilot to find information, allowing it to search through all the records in Business Central. It could also generate curated guides to explain new processes to me. And finally, we can ask it a lot of different questions, including how Copilot integrates with Business Central to find out more about how we can be empowered with it. Down here, we can use the View Prompts feature to give us a bit of a guide on what we could ask. So for example, I might look at Find and see that I can show the latest sales invoice for a certain customer. So let's give that a go. Show latest invoice for Alpine Ski House. Now Copilot will go away and check all of the records in Business Central to find the invoice that I'm looking for. We can see here the process that it goes through as it's getting the information, digging into the records, and almost done. Now we can see our requested invoice. It shows the summarized information of different amounts, dates, a lot of the things that I might need at a high level. And if I want that more detailed information, I can also navigate directly to the posted sales invoice by clicking here. And here we can see our sales invoice. One of the other things that I might want help with Copilot for is figuring out how to do different processes within Business Central. So for example, I might want a reminder in how I process a payment journal. So let's ask Copilot how to process a payment journal. Now Copilot will review different guides and explanations so that it can give me a curated understanding of a step-by-step process to complete a payment journal. And here we go. Lists out all the interesting information in how to complete that. It also contains references, so we can see where it's getting it from and see the relevant Microsoft Learn articles that have a bit more detailed information that we want to dive into. And that's Chat with Copilot. Now let's explore how Copilot integrates with analysis and reporting within Business Central. One of the key benefits of using Copilot within BC is that it can respond to natural language and provide insights into business data for non-technical users. Let's give that a go with customer ledger entries. From our customer ledger entries page, we can switch into the analysis mode. Here we can see a new prompt from Copilot for create a new analysis, so we can summarize all of our customer ledger entries that we have in Business Central. So for example, I might be reviewing these entries and I want to be able to see the customer with the largest outstanding balance. So who has the largest outstanding balance? And generate. Here we can see that BC has produced a new analysis tab for us, which summarizes all of our customer ledger entries based on the remaining amount. Now, one of the critical features that I really like about the analysis mode is that we can combine multiple prompts together. So while reviewing this, I might want to see this summarized down per customer. So let's add a new prompt. Let's say group by customer and send that through. Here we can see that all of our customer ledger entries have now been summarized based on each customer, so I can get a bit more overview information into who has the largest outstanding balance. We can also extend it out to see the more itemized line-by-line information and add any additional fields that are of interest to me. Now let's take a look at the new Copilot summary feature. To gain insights about items, customers, or vendors, we can use this summary feature to summarize a record into its key points. For example, let's have a look at some items. So I might want to gain more insights about my Amsterdam lamp. So if I open up my item card, we can see a new fact box here on the right for the Copilot summary. Here we can see it's got some information about my stock availability and profit metrics. So we can see that there's high demand for the item, and we have 7 currently on a sales order. We can also see that there is a healthy margin as well. This Copilot summary is also available on documents. Let's give it a go with one of our sales orders. So If I open up my open sales orders and go to my most recent one, we can see we've got that same Copilot summary in the top right. This time, it's reporting more on the order itself, things like customer engagement and metrics there as well. For example, one of the key things I can see here is that we have a shipment date and a due date for the 7th of the 4th. We can also see, more critically, that the customer has an overdue balance. So we may want to follow up with them on their pending payments before we fulfill this sales order. Moving on, we can have a look at how our new embedded Power BI reports for Business Central use AI insights to gain a more in-depth data analysis. If I have a look at our All reports up here, I can see we have a new Key Sales Influences report, which is connected to my Power BI workspace. Here we can see the Key Sales Influences report is generating insights based on the document type and the key factors that contribute to that. For example, we can see here that it's summarizing that the document type is most likely to be a sales invoice when Jim Olive is our salesperson. This also does a list of a lot of the other contributing factors that we can really drill into what is contributing to our sales. And so that concludes our exploration into Copilot features in Business Central. Thanks for joining me as we explored these new AI-powered tools, including creating sales orders with Suggest Sales Lines and the new Sales Order Agent, managing finances through automating bank reconciliations and identifying late payments, chatting with Copilot to efficiently navigate information in Business Central, and gaining AI insights with the new analysis and Power BI reporting features. As we have seen, these new Copilot features reduce manual effort, improve data accuracy by minimizing manual entry, and save time for users across all business areas. So why not give these new Copilot features a go, so you can see how Copilot can empower you and your business? If you have any questions, you can contact us here at Fenwick or visit our website for more information. Goodbye.